The Bouzakis family is the definition of a wrestling family.
I've been to Russia, I've been to Bulgaria, Mexico, my sister's been to Colombia. We rarely have a weekend where we get to just relax. We're always somewhere wrestling.
I knew the father back in high school, so he grew up about maybe 2 hours north of where I grew up as a kid. And the Troy Bouzakis name in my community was a big name in wrestling. He was a super stud.
I grew up in Tampa. Me and my brother asked my dad, could we wrestle? So he's like, all right, we'll see what happens. And from there, it just sort of took off. This is how much of a wrestling family we are. My little brother is named Greco Bouzakis, which is a style of wrestling. When I was around 9 or 10, we were in Miami at a wrestling camp, and we noticed Greco was tripping over his own feet. His eyes were crossed. I remember us, all right, everyone get in the car. We drove to the Children's Hospital in Tampa, and that was like the first time we kind of got a sense like, oh, something's wrong. In short, it's DIPG. It's a cancer on the brainstem and is inoperable. You can't get to it without messing something up. Whenever my brother got sick, that's when it turned from like just practicing and like going to local tournaments to like, all right, we're gonna do national events, we're gonna do state events, we're doing big stuff now. So we ended up creating a team called Team Greco to honor him, and the whole state of Florida got behind it. And Greco would just run around wearing his little Team Greco singlet, hanging out with all the kids. He was only supposed to live 3 months. He ended up living 39, so he was a fighter. When it came to the end of his life, he couldn't walk, couldn't eat. He was paralyzed. So he was in a car seat the whole time because he couldn't sit himself up, and it was just so hard to watch. He would sit there, watch TV all day. I remember watching How to Train Your Dragons with him. So that was a big piece of my life. But yeah, it was rough. Going to see him, we would always put our hands over his heart, see if it was still beating. And I remember one night, Dad called us up to the room, and me and my sister did it. Nothing. I remember having to walk his dead body out of the house whenever he finally passed, and that was just rough because my dad couldn't touch him, my mom couldn't touch him, siblings couldn't touch him. I didn't sleep for like 3 days after that. Wrestling was therapy for me. It was a way to get out of the dark times. We had a wrestling mat, we had dumbbells, we had lifting equipment, treadmill in the house, so I was just constantly in there, just trying to like, I guess, hide my feelings in my muscles. By the end of my freshman year in Florida, I already won 3 state titles at the high school division. I love Florida, and I'll always claim it as my home, but I can't go back there. So I transferred to Wyoming Seminary, which is a powerhouse in Pennsylvania. What set Ohio State apart from everyone else was Tom Ryan. I felt like, well, if anyone's gonna understand me as a person, that's the man that's gonna do that.
On February 16th of 2004, my wife, Lynn, and I lost a 5-year-old son to a massive heart attack at the dinner table. There were no warning signs. Then you have the long journey of trying to make sense of it. The only way to describe it is it was an explosion in the house, and you're trying to pick up the pieces. the pain never goes away, right? There are moments when I'm driving down, I'm at a light, and I'm reflecting on a moment or experience, or I see a parent with a son, and it brings you right back to that moment in the wrestling room. I think Greco was 6 and Teague was 5, very similar ages and very similar stages in their life. We run wrestling camps over the summer, and Nic Bouzakis was at one of these wrestling camps. I share my story with every camper. There's no way that another human being can understand the depth of the pain unless you've experienced it yourself. So it was an immediate connection. This, trust off the mat was really critical in his decision, I think.
I come in every Tuesday and Thursday early with him, work out and just talk and work out together. I mean, I feel like he's a very important person in my life.
I can connect with him, but it takes me to my son's birthday and the day my son passed. So we're just really connected in a unique, unfortunate way, but in a way that we can help each other.
I don't want anyone ever to pass away the way my brother did, so it's very important for me to share my story, share what I've experienced.
Buckeye Nation, I would like to introduce you to Ohio State freshman Nic Bouzakis.
Every chance we get to share his story,
Hey everyone!
we're really excited the amount of lives Nic can touch.
If I have a big win, I will put on a beanie my brother would wear around tournaments, and it's a way to have him with me in the moment.
When Nic has success on the wrestling mat, he's got this really cool red cap he'll put on that says Team Greco. And it's just kind of a connector for him emotionally. And basically, you're with me, brother. Nic definitely has an emotion behind his wrestling that, quite frankly, I want to tamper down a little bit. I don't want it to be as emotional for him.
I realized if he could battle for 39 months, I can fight for 7 minutes. And I just tell myself, do it for Greco, get out there, kill this kid, get off the mat, go home.